Let's talk about emotional maturity right quick, right? This is so important, y'all, because it's like this. Just because someone age, it happens to us all. God willing, it happens to us all for us to age, right? Just because someone is an adult by their age, that don't mean in their mind that they're mature. So you can have a certain age. You can be up there in age. You can be middle age. Whatever the case it is. But so many times people are aging and using that as a badge to make decisions that, to be honest, they're not mature for. Grasp what it is that, you know, making decisions because, okay, you're an adult, right? Or even with teenagers, with their certain they're still developing, right? And so, you know how it was with many of us who were once teenagers. We were doing things that we felt like we were ready for and we weren't ready for. Even as preteens, dibbling and dabbling with stuff that we weren't ready for, that we were exposed to, and we weren't ready for those things. And it shaped, it shaped and it planted certain things within us. So time and time again, we have adults out here who, um, you know, and I can speak, and I'm speaking from experience. That's one thing about me. I'm not gonna come and jump on here as if I have it all figured out. Well, as if I'm perfect. I speak these things because I've either experienced it or I've seen it and I learned from it. With certain things, it takes for me to just look at it and to gain the wisdom from the Most High. But then other times it took for me to have to walk through it. And so I say that to say, sorry, I had to take care of something. I had to pause, but hopefully I'm leaving off where I was at. But so many times as like adults, we've made decisions and stuff based upon our trauma and not realizing it, based upon our emotions and not even realizing how, if we're emotionally immature, how this can forever lead us if we don't get it together. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we don't grasp this and if we don't heal, depending on who you are, because not everyone had a hard knock life. Not everyone had a certain life. But I know trauma is common. I know trauma is definitely common, and it's different levels of it, especially if you keep constantly being exposed to it. So if the shoe fit, wear it, lace it up and wear it. But so many times we make decisions and we come into us as a people, sometimes we'll come into agreement with things, right, that we're truly not prepared for. Like the whole thing with this dating, it's nothing but, from what I've experienced and from what I see, it's nothing but trauma, especially if people aren't trying to court and dating in order to settle down. Like actually being intentional, when pursuing someone. It's like people look, and I don't want this man. I'm not trying to be here and there with the message. I promise you I'm not. But it's like people go into things not all people, of course, but people be going into these things and just not having intent to do anything but to just, it's always test the water. So you already know people be coming with their own motives and all this different stuff. But I have a message on here that talks about friends with benefits. And in that message I talked about how the heart the heart don't know whether you playing or not. You see what I'm saying? The heart gonna feel what it feels. So I say all that to say, because I was about to go a whole different route, but I'm not about to do that. I'm just trying to stay on track and talk about emotional maturity, right? But I felt myself trying to drift off and get into something else, and I'm good for it. But so basically it's like people, they be, this whole thing with the dating, especially not like with no intent, but basically just going into these things, and especially, again, doing things outside of the Most High will, doing things outside of His will. That's another thing. But another thing is this, that people be hopping in this dating scene and dealing with people and not understanding. Help me with the words, Lord. Basically understanding like what they getting themselves into, um, opening themselves up and truly not even emotionally mature or emotionally ready for what may come out of that situation, especially when you just going into something with no intent to be serious about it. You see what I'm saying? And then don't get me wrong, some people, they be feeling as though that they're getting into something with the intent to be serious and end up, this XYZ. But the best way that I can like sum this up, the best way that I can sum it up is basically our emotional wounds will always find us through people. It'll find us through ourselves with the decisions that we make, and it'll find us through other people. You see what I'm saying? And it's gonna keep showing up. The emotional immaturity gonna keep showing up. And a lot of times people be getting into these situations where, again, they're not truly ready for what may come. They're not truly ready for what may show up. It's like when you involve someone else, and it ain't like no true vetting and no true courting and none of that. Like when you involve someone else in the midst, and it include, I'm trying to work this the best way that I can, but it includes someone else, and you may agree, okay, we gonna date, whatever the case is, whatever the case is, and you come into agreement with someone. One thing that you never truly know what you're coming into agreement with is someone's emotional state, about how they deal with people, even about how they perceive people and stuff like that. You feel me? Man, it's just flowing, y'all. I was thinking it was going to go one way, but it's kind of turning a little bit. So bear with me, and I don't know what to call this. So I'm going to try to title this the best way that I can, but it still ties into emotional maturity. But for some reason, and it ain't for some reason, I know the Lord is leading me to touch more base with this. So we had just talked about this, but you never know what emotional state someone's in, and coming into agreements. Like when you come into agreement with these people, you just never know. Emotional maturity is important for us as a people. For a man and for a woman, it's important that we get it together. It's important that we get it together. One of the top reasons is that it's going to always be some youth up under us. It's going to always be some youth. And the seeds that's being sown today, and how they looking up to us, and just different stuff. You don't want to sow emotional immaturity within the child. Though a child have to grow up and learn how they gonna learn and go through what they have to go through, you never want to arrest their development by how you parent, by how you show up. Because some of us, with some of you all, you may not be parents. You may have nieces and nephews, or maybe a coach, or wherever angle of life that you're coming from, and little cousins and all that, family members, and just different stuff like that. Like, you don't want to sow no seeds that arrest their development. But a lot of times, people can only give what they have. But then I seen, even with myself, how I've given what I didn't have. And it's possible 100% how you can be the change and sow a different seed. And so I say that to say, between man and a woman, it's important that we change. Not only for the youth, I had to include the fact how it's important for the youth, because it's 100%. It's important how we bring these babies up. It's important how we bring these children up. That's 100% important. And so many homes are ruined due to the lack of emotional maturity between man and between woman. Making mistakes out of emotional immaturity, making mistakes out of trauma, making mistakes out of wounds, making mistakes out of arrested development, just different things. You see what I'm saying? And so, not only just that though, but when there's a lack of emotional immaturity, man, it's dangerous. It is so dangerous to be out here and use age as a badge, and don't even be ready for. Don't even be ready, not understanding fully like what's really going on, and actually thinking things through. One thing about emotional immaturity is that it'll cause people to act irrationally, to behave irrationally with no thought to it, in a haste, just acting out of a haste, out of emotion, what they feel, and being led by emotions. And that's a dangerous thing. You could be in the wrong place, the wrong time, due to emotional immaturity, due to irrational, just operating irrationally. And sometimes being at the wrong place at the wrong time, it don't always mean being at the wrong place, wrong time physically, but you could be at the wrong place, the wrong time within your mind due to the emotions. And so much so, be at the wrong place at the wrong time in your mind due to emotions, then it carry out physically. Then it carry out, in other angles, in other ways. And spiritually, it all ties in, all of it, under every aspect, every realm and all that. It's attached spiritually. That's the foundation. And then you got the mental and the emotional and the physical and financial. You got all these different realms and these different angles. But I say that to say, because I don't want this to be super long, but I don't know if you've experienced it or if you've done it yourself. But I know it was both me operating out of emotion and by someone acting out of emotion towards me. And when I say that, it's scary. It's scary. And it's so important that we tap in, we really check in with ourselves as far as our upbringing. Or sometimes people be having a decent upbringing and then they just go on in this life and make certain decisions. You see what I'm saying? And it open up doors. And so whatever time that you can look back on that caused a certain shift, or you didn't grasp a specific lesson, and then it caused arrested development, or where a certain pain has entered into the one's life. Because again, everyone didn't have a hard knock life. Sometimes it comes later on in life where people can grasp the fact that they're now aging, like they're adults, and just different stuff. So it's different angles as to how arrested development can come, and also not wanting to receive knowledge or wisdom, and just different angles and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be here and there, because again, I am good for it, but even sometimes it take, like, sometimes with deaths, that can arrest someone development too. It's just different angles, but it's important for people to um really tap in with themselves and realize and keep it real with themselves when something not right, when something is not right within them, whether it's anger issues, whether it's being whether that's just being like heaviness, depression, where their moods just shift, or sadness, when it's not. And these are emotions that we experience. I mean, we're human, but when it becomes a problem, like when it's common and it becomes a problem, like it's how can I say it, the main emotion that one is using, or the main emotion that show up when something, when a certain situation, take place, then it's like we have to look at that as people. And so, man, time and time again, I'm constantly seeing this, and it's from both angles. It's from both angles. Like, we as men and women, we have to. It's time for people to. I don't know, man. And another thing is like this whole thing with these channels, these red pill communities, and then these men, these women who have channels. I'm talking about channels filled with so much content. I'm talking about with so much content of just, and I'm not saying it like there's something wrong with people addressing the fact how both genders have issues, and you need to shine light on what folks is out here doing. Like, you supposed to expose those kind of things to put people on game, to let people know, like, look, you aren't tripping, your situation is your situation, to really put people in a knowing about the tricks and the schemes of different genders and stuff. And I understand that, but it's coming to a point where folks, whether it's a man talking directly about women all the time, and it's always bashing all the time, or whether it's a woman who always bashing men, and I'm talking about it's content, like many videos about bashing, or whether it's a man who if he because much respect to the men who are coaches and who coach women and love on women, and be that leadership over a woman and stuff like that, and really trying to tell her, but it's in a way of bringing awareness and love. In a way they speak about it and they talk about it, it's love. So I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about like those who just have hate messages and is bitter and stuff like that. Whether it's a man who's talking about other men, and it's constant, constantly bringing down men, and it's gonna look like, oh, you trying to uplift yourself. It comes to a point where it's like you trying to make yourself look good. And I'm not trying to I ain't trying to be a little rude, but that whole scandal with Derek Jackson some years ago. Like that really, and I remember I watched his videos a few times, but for some reason I couldn't really, he spoke some truth. And I'm like, okay, but then it comes out that this man is actually living the very things that he's talking about, hurting his lady behind closed doors. Like, you need to watch out for people who have that content that's constantly bashing the next man, or people who got that, that content that's constantly bashing women, whether it's the man constantly doing it to the man, or whether it's a woman who her content is literally filled with constantly exposing women and stuff like that. And this stuff may seem, and you can gain much from it. But as for me, and as a woman who I went through the phases of being hurt and not recognizing that, that I was suppressing it, and then end up finding during my healing journey, like, man, like, I showed my bitterness in a different way. It was like I was covering it up, and I was just disappearing, and whatever the case may. Like, I handled my bitterness differently. But that's another story, another day. I ain't gonna get much on it. But as a woman who been hurt by people, and I've hurted people myself. You feel me? I'm not not about to come on here like, oh, I'm a victim and woe is me. This is not like, I hurt people as well. But by being hurt by people, that stuff resurrects some stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, you keep consuming that kind of content, that'll resurrect some stuff. And so I say all that to say, these channels out here, certain channels and many channels out here, it be keeping bitterness alive. It be keeping anger and rage alive. It be keeping emotional immaturity alive. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna talk about these things, really get down to the root. Okay, yeah, you talking about this and that, and it may XYZ, and it be true. It may be true. You feel me? People be having a valid reasons, because how you know it's valid? Because there's so many other people who can relate. So it's valid because people experience these things 100%. But if these people gonna be doing all that, which I'm sure they're not, I've watched just a few, and barely, when I say barely, and I'm not about to lie about this, I don't have no reason to lie, but I looked at certain content, and I may have consumed it every blue moon, depending on the title, every blue moon, like very slim to none. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, but it depends on the title, but it's very slim to none, because I'm not with none of that. That stuff can resurrect certain stuff, and it's just like, it's not edifying. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know what I experienced. I know what I seen others experience. It's just like, okay, cool. But I say all that to say, like, people need to get down to the root and really talk about emotional immaturity, and how this is actually a plague, how this is actually like this is a spiritual infirmity that so many people are going through and dealing with. Spiritual immaturity, the stuff that you hear people talk about, and how a man moved like this, and how a woman did this, and how they did that, a lot of times it's emotional immaturity. And when those doors of emotional immaturity is open, it causes so many other things to come within that person's heart, and have them doing all kind of things, because they're operating out of immaturity in the realm of emotions, in the realm of their feelings. A lot of times people are dating and all of that for their own reasons, to cover up voids, and to even inflict their hurt. Like, hearing about how certain people, they be like, they know that they have certain diseases, and they just going out here spreading it, just different stuff, like even down to stuff like that. Like, people will literally be getting into situations and just inflicting people due to something happening to their emotions, like their emotions being damaged, and there be so many doors open. And so I'm here and I'm there. I'm here and I'm there, but one of the most scariest things is to see a man or a woman not be able to control their emotions, and it's been there for a while, and they've been suppressing them feelings. That's one of the most scariest things, because you're not sure what they're capable of doing. You aren't sure what they're capable of doing. And from both angles, I'ma keep it real. A man who don't have control over his emotions, that is so unattractive, man. And I've seen it. And I'm just like, dude, like that's not cool. Now, me, back when I was, dating and stuff like that, um, I've always had a mixture to me. I'm super chill, silly, all of that. And then I have a rowdy side. And so I've always like dudes who was super laid back. Like gotta be chill. Like super cool, just cool. I like stuff like that. You know, um, but then I found myself, it'll be times where I will notice, okay, yeah, you chill, but I'm sensing that he have a lot of bottled up feelings. And that's another thing. Um, it's like sometimes with men, when they be super, super chill, and then me as a woman, me knowing like, okay, this life is rough and things aren't always easy. So, and then sometimes when you watch how, certain arrows and darts and all this different warfare happen to a man, and he just super, super chill, I sometimes wonder about the man to be like, is he okay? Because it's like, how are you releasing these emotions? Everything not always good. It's not always good. And I remember one time an ex, he was just so upset and he just cried in front of me. And I was just like, wow. And it hurt to see like him cry. Like he was just so hurt. And it was due to his mom. It was due to his mom. And so I say all that to say, like, I'm not saying that it's not okay. Like, it's not okay to cry if you're a man. It's okay 100% to cry. And I think that's what really damaged a lot of our men, thinking that they can't cry, thinking that it's a weakness to show emotion. And also, because of that, having certain people in their lives that make them feel as though, you know, that they're weak if they show this XYZ, um, I feel like that damaged a lot of men, especially if they don't have that masculine role in their lives, to let them know like, hey, it's okay to cry, but you have to bounce back and this and that, XYZ. But yeah, it's, man, um, and I've been on the end of seeing how I could have almost been unalived a few times, but God had his his hand over my life. And a time when I dated someone and they was just lack of emotions. But even with rejection, it's been a few times where I was threatened by men. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to talk to him, and I wasn't being mean. I wasn't being mean or distasteful. I was just like, no, I'm okay. And I got called bees, and a dude threatened to bust out my windows, and a dude threatened to come and he was so mad at me. He was like, I'm gonna have my sister beat your way and all this other stuff. Like, he was so like, but to see that, it's not funny, 100% it's not, but to see that, like the feeling that I felt in my heart, like, oh my goodness, because I heard about stories about certain men not being able to accept rejection. Like the rejection hurts so bad. Like the man don't even know, like, what if, and just to say what if, but You never know, right? But what if, because rejection is protection, whether it was for the lady or whether it was for him. How he know if he was asking a serial killer to, can I get your number, never knowing if she a serial killer, and can I get your number? She like, no, but he looking at it like, oh, B, you rejected me, see stuff like that. Like, rejection is protection, whether it was for the man or the woman. You feel me? It just wasn't meant to be. But you have some individuals who they've been hurt and they've been rejected by their own caregivers. They may have been, some of them were in foster, the system, and just different stuff, like different angles of life. But it's so unattractive, and it's just so scary to see a man, which is who God designed to lead. It is so, so scary to see when he do not have his emotions intact, so much so that he ready to crash out. Like, not like it's okay to have emotions again, but it's just like to the point where you ready to unalive somebody, and you ready to really go above and beyond to destroy and hurt someone over emotions. It's so temporary. Like, it will be better days ahead. Like, they willing to be put in jail. They willing to be put 6 feet under. They willing to unalive other people because of it. And it's dangerous. And as a woman, coming from a woman perspective, as far as a woman, now 100%, I know that the Most High have designed us women to be what a lot of people like to say, and what a lot of us know, that we're on the emotional side. We're more on the emotional side. And I feel like, due to, and not even just what I feel, it was the revelation that the Most High have given me, like he made us like that for a reason. And there's a such thing as godly sensitivity, and then there's a such thing as demonic sensitivity, right? And so with the godly sensitivity, it's like he wired us like that for a reason. Again, we carry the children in our womb. We give birth, right? And so we have to be sensitive we have to be sensitive in our children. Not only that, we were created and designed to be help meets. And so we have to be able to discern. We have to be able to notice a slight shift in anything, and it's part of that, what people may call women's intuition, but what the Most High call it is discernment, and that gut that we have, all of that, all of that tie in, that knowing, it's that knowing. You see what I'm saying? It's that knowing, and the Most High has given that to us for a reason. We're supposed to realize the slightest shift. We're supposed to realize the slightest shift, like a woman is designed to help. A woman is designed to nurture, to birth out different things with creativity and just different stuff to help, and just many different things I can get into as far as a woman and why we're designed the way we're designed. Because the Most High had to show me that as far as being a woman, okay, when he was ripping that masculinity side that I had of me, because I had both. So, but that's another thing. But I say all that to say, the Most High designed us women to be sensitive for a reason, and to be in tune with our emotions for a reason. It is a reason. And he gave us them nurturing abilities for a reason. But it's a such thing as demonic sensitivity, that'll cause a woman to destroy. Instead of building with her hands, and uplifting with her hands, and nurturing with her hands, her mouth, her heart, all of those things. If it's polluted, the enemy will use our emotions, our very emotions that the Most High designed for us to keep our house in order, to be able to pray for our husbands, to be able to pray for our children, to be able to pray for those out there in the community, to be able to give, to be able to love, to be that soft spot, to be all of that. The enemy will turn it, and that's how he end up polluting a lot of women today, to be masculine and to be hateful and just different stuff like that. And so I say all that to say, it is very scary as well when a woman is operating on the end of having demonic sensitivity, meaning she's being so driven by emotion. And don't get me wrong, us women, we can do that sometimes, but again, it's godly sensitivity, and sometimes it be godly sensitivity in training. You see what I'm saying? So we may be this, but that's where the man comes in too, because he thinks more rationally. You see what I'm saying? And can help. And so a man and a woman goes together, but that's another thing. And the enemy always trying to destroy that so much. But I say all that to say the enemy can use that against us women and cause us to do things that, all it take is a second. That's all it take at a drop of a dime. That's all it take for someone to go from 0 to 100. Just at a drop of a dime. I've been a woman who, like I say, I be quick to leave. I be quick to leave, like all of that. Yes, I've done the arguing. And the craziest thing that I've done, I'm not gonna lie, the craziest thing I've done, one time I was so mad at my ex. A girl called his phone. It was an iron. It wasn't on, but it was an iron. I grabbed the iron. I tried to throw it at him. He moved. And also with the phone, I tried to crack his phone or whatever. Man, that was the strongest iPhone ever. I'm not gonna lie, but that's the craziest thing I've ever tried to do. And it's pretty embarrassing. But also, and I have to put this out there, because I'm about to say something that'll ruffle a few feathers. So I'm just letting people know, like, look, I'm not perfect. You feel me? And how people deal with their emotions and all that, that's how they deal with it. But I grew up watching my mom when she would catch my stepfather, cheating and doing all that and just creeping around and all that. I literally used to watch her put her hands on him all the time because he was always doing it. You see what I'm saying? And I watched a lot of times of my mother being masculine. You see what I'm saying? So I took on that too. Like sometimes when I get upset, it wasn't all the time, but I've done it. I've done it a few times, and even with a specific ex-girlfriend of mine, I used to sometimes like get mad at her, put my hands on her, and just stuff like that, like not being in control of my emotions. 100%. I feel like straight up, don't put your hands on somebody's son. Don't put your hands on somebody's brother. Don't put your hands on that man. Don't emasculate him. Don't do that. And then, like many say, what happens if and I do not condone it. But some say, like, what happens if that man get tired and he have to defend himself? And by the grace of God, I thank God that my ex, that the most he done was push me because I was doing too much. And I understand why he did it. You see what I'm saying? Like, he ended up pushing me like, man, you chill, man, and this and that. And I'm, acting how I was acting. But I say that majority of the time I left. But then I had times where I operated out of emotion. And it was also this one time with my ex-girlfriend, I was acting so emotional, like I was so irritated by her because she says the stupidest stuff to me. And it was like she got a thrill, and that's another thing, and I will ruffle some feathers with this too, because I still ain't say the first thing that I know will ruffle some feathers, but that's another thing with them same-sex relationships, man. I'm going to just tell you this because I've been there and I've done it. Look, I've been there and I've done it, and it was like she liked to see me get rowdy. Like she liked that. Like she got a thrill off of that. Because any other time I'm chill, I'm silly, all of that. But she got a kick out of when I would get riled up because I'm a different person. And about me having this specific energy, by me having this specific anointing on my life, by me having these specific things, is something that these spirits, like they feed off of that, like an energy vampire. So I say all that to say, Um, One day, I ain't gonna lie, I almost crashed out. She didn't want to get out my car, and I'm super strong. I'm little, but I am super strong. You can ask many people, okay? But I am super strong for me to be little. And so I even tried to get her up out the car, but she wouldn't get out. And I was like, get out my car, get out my car. Like I'm steady telling her. It would got to the point I almost like literally cried. Like I was literally on the brink of just crying. Cause I'm like, bro, get out of my car. Like I was trying to pull her out. I was trying to get her out and she wouldn't get out. And I was like, I'm about to kill it. I'm about to kill her. I am about to kill her. It was on my mama's birthday a few years ago. I tried to call my mama. My mama wasn't picking up. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go to jail. I'm about to kill this bee. Like I was just, because it's just like, dude, I'm telling you, get out of my space. But it was like I was operating out of emotion. I literally seen it. I literally felt myself. I was like, I'm about to kill her. I'm about to kill her. And I haven't got to a point like that. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm really about to go down, I'm about to kill her. So fast forward it, I say all that to say sometimes with women, they'll crash out because their feelings hurt and different things. Like some of them they'll go and I heard a story about a woman killing the other woman. That happens, that's super common. Unaliving the other woman. Busting out a man windows, busting out his, slashing his tires, doing all that, sweeping out his bank account. Heard about a woman getting unalive because of that. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes for you to just walk away. Don't be doing all that. Don't be putting your hands on anyone and stuff like that because it can turn out deadly. It can turn out deadly being led by emotion, putting your hands on somebody, touching somebody's stuff, like touching somebody, vandalizing their stuff and doing all that. Like sometimes it's just best to walk away. But at the same time, though I haven't done it, I've done those things that I told y'all. I've done things that it's just like, girl, you should have been, you should have just walked away from that. You would have been cool had you would have walked away. Like you don't gotta do all that. You see what I'm saying? But how their emotions and their pain, I never, I don't know how that woman feel and how she take her anger out. And that was a way that she take her anger out. Do I agree with it? No. Do I agree with the things that I've done when I was angry? No. I felt like just walk away, and you can deal with the emotions. Even if you have to shed a few tears in front of certain people, okay, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, it happens, though I know people like, don't let them see you sweat, don't let them see you shed tears. I get it, whatever the case may be. But even if that's all you have to do and just walk away, because that's a motivation for you, like, man, and I just cried in front of this person and this person, this, like, man, yeah, I'm definitely up out of here. Let that be a motivation for someone to just be like, yeah, I'm good, I'm done. Like this hurt. Instead of it just being, oh, I have to get back at this person, or oh, this, and that, and black completely out. Emotional immaturity is dangerous. Emotional immaturity is dangerous. It is so dangerous. Someone who's emotionally immature cannot love properly. They cannot love properly because with love comes long suffering. With love comes long suffering. And if their emotions not a certain way, it can go left. It can go left. I'm hearing I'm there. I had a certain way that I thought it was going to go, but it took a turn. But hopefully, whoever you are listening, you get exactly what it is that I'm saying. To be emotionally immature and to be trying to deal with someone, it'll be a catastrophe. It ends bad every single time. And it's like, before we even get to that point, just, we have to do things God's way. Because God will prepare us and help our hearts and help do certain things within our hearts and our emotions and all that before we be put in any situation to meet someone else. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know, man. Like, if you ask me, I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful that I'm out of the whole dating scene, and I'm not looking forward to it. I have so much to catch up on in my life that it's not something that I'm thinking about right now. You see what I'm saying? I can't think about it right now. Like, I wasted so much of my youth doing that. I'm about to be 28 years old. So it's like I have to play catch up, and on top of that, I'm a mother. So I thank God that the stuff that I'm seeing now, that I'm free from it. That I'm free from it. Like, I don't have to worry about that again. It caused so much. It caused so much pain. It wasted so much time. It did so much to my emotions. And do you know how long it takes to get that stuff up out of your heart? Do you know how long it takes to get that stuff up out of your soul? Do you know how long that stuff take, man? Like it takes a lot. It takes a lot. So yeah, I'm about to get off of here. And I will talk with you soon. Thanks for listening. All love.